to today's episode. My name is Tom Rolley for System.io.dev. I wanted to talk about this idea that I've had for a little bit when thinking about systems and processes in business, and that is to reference some of these. So this one's called To Asia with Love. This one here is called Ottolenghi Simple. You probably have a whole bunch of these. They are, of course, cookbooks. And the interesting thing about cookbooks is just how similar they are to systems and processes in business. You see, you take one of these, let's take this crispy tofu and coriander balls, okay? And that's all written out there. It's got a list of ingredients that I could go and get, and hopefully I can get all of those. If I have all those, then I can make the recipe. If I don't, then I can consider substitutes or leaving things out. If I leave too many out or substitute things that aren't a good substitution, then I will struggle. But nonetheless, there's a list of ingredients, a list of inputs that are going in. There's a little story about it, which really is superfluous, but it's nice to know why this particular recipe is important to the author. And then there are words. There are instructions, what to do. Place the tofu in a large bowl, mash it up with a fork, add the coriander, shallot, ginger, 5-spice powder, and egg, and mix until well combined. Stir in the potato starch. Like, this is a process. So we've got the ingredients, then we've got what to do with the ingredients, and then it tells you how to cook them. So it's like, pour 3 centimeters of oil in a deep, heavy base saucepan and heat over medium-high heat until the oil's hot. Again, that is a step in a process, but we've kind of moved from making the balls to cooking the balls, so it would be a second process. Drop 2 or 3 balls into the oil and fry for 2 minutes. Now, that there could be a description of very similar steps to business. The same with this one, Ottolenghi Simple. I'm just going to randomly turn and let's see if we can find one. Roasted baby carrots with harissa and pomegranate. Again, guess what it's got? It's got a nice picture and it's got a bit of a story, but that's not really what this is about. It's got a list of ingredients: cumin seeds, honey, rose harissa, butter, olive oil, and then it's got what to do. Preheat the oven to 230. In a large bowl, mix together the ingredients, roast for 12 to 14 minutes. When ready to serve, mix the carrots with the remaining ingredients and serve. Like, it's even numbered out. I don't know if you can see that. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is interesting is that most people, when they go to cook, will use this. We'll use this. And the cool thing is they're going to get something close to what looks like in the picture. And the more accurate they are with those steps, the closer it will be to the actual final dish that the author envisaged. What is interesting in business is how recalcitrant human beings typically are about using the recipe book, also known as systems and processes. And look, business needs recipes. It needs recipes for marketing. It needs recipes for sales, for advertising, for fulfillment, for people. How are you hiring people? How do you train people? How do you review people? How do you fire people? How do you pay people? How do you do your accounting? These are all recipes. And the interesting thing is that those businesses that have a recipe book for their business, they get one of 2 things. One is a valuation that is multiples higher for a business with its recipe book than for one without. Business with recipe book, valuable. Business without recipe book, not so valuable. Why? Because there's risk. I buy the business and suddenly a key member leaves and the business falls apart. With the recipe book intact, buy the business, key member leaves, no big deal. We know how things are done. So that valuation is one critical factor of having your own recipe book. The second one, though, is for your own capacity as the entrepreneur or the business owner to leave the business. One of the downsides of you being a human cookbook is that means that anytime anything needs to be done, your staff, your team need to come to you to ask you what to do. This makes you incredibly busy. It's very frustrating. You don't have time for holidays. You don't even have time for your work, as well as just a general sense of frustration because you do not have a recipe book for your business. And so one of the critical things, if you are struggling with time as the business owner, if you are the recipe book for your business and people keep asking, and you know that you actually need to create your own recipe book, and perhaps you've tried before, perhaps you've been through and got people to write down everything that they do, or you've videoed everything that they do, but for some reason people still will not use the recipe book. And you're like, use the recipe book, and they don't. If you can solve that problem, if you're interested in solving that problem, if you can see the benefits of solving that particular problem, and you would actually like to be able to cook all of these recipes, you give the ingredients, you give it to a team member, they follow the recipe book, and out comes the finished product, also known as a business that works. If this is a conversation that you want to be part of, then head over to systemio.dev, put in your name, put in your email address, watch the training there that I've put together for you. And if you're a match, then we can get together to discuss what this creation of the specific recipe book for your business would look like. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm going to go watch some MasterChef that's on tonight. They are doing some kind of crazy vol au vent challenge. But the interesting thing is that this is potentially one of the most powerful metaphors for your business. All right. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. Look forward to seeing you in the next episode very soon.